Hey everybody, this is Dan Metzger. I'm the pastor at St. Mark's United Methodist Church, and welcome to a Sermon Prep podcast. And I'm here today with Carol Smith, who is the director of Little Lions Play School that meets here at St. Mark's. Hi, Carol.
Hi, Dan. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here. Is this your first time on a podcast?
It is.
It's your first time on a podcast?
Yes.
Well, I'm a seasoned veteran now. I believe this is episode number 21 or something like,
Okay.
or 22.
I guess it's better than 4.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're really finding our groove now. So,
Awesome.
but excited to have you here today. We are going to be talking this Sunday about children, and the title of the message this week is Jesus Loves the Little Children. And actually, Corinne DeWitt, who is our children's ministry director, is going to be preaching. So,
Awesome.
I don't know exactly what she's going to be talking about, but I have a basic idea because we know that there's a lot of places in Scripture where Jesus talks about loving the children and inviting the children to come to him, and how that's supposed to be an important thing for us. So we'll talk about that in a little bit, but I want to start off with you work with children.
I do.
Yeah. So how did that kind of start your finding your kind of calling or your passion or whatever you want to call it for working with kids, especially really, really little kids?
Yeah. So I actually eons ago I joined Millstream, the vocational program here in Findlay. And then it was called Early Childhood, not teaching professions, but I don't know. I've always just been gravitated towards children. Obviously it's my passion, but man, I don't know. I don't know anything else, I guess.
Yeah, it's just what you kind of always done.
Yeah.
I remember when I first went into ministry, and I was pretty young,
Okay.
and people were like, "Oh, so you're gonna be a youth pastor?" And I was like, "No, I don't think so. I think I'm gonna be I think I want to work with grown-ups." And I was like barely a grown-up, and
Okay.
still today barely a grown-up. I feel like, but so like for me, I felt like there's like this certain age of people that I'm just kind of like. There's some that I'm drawn to, and some that like for me, being a preschool director, man, that would be like on probably the bottom of my list of things that I feel called to or
fair.
like
That's fair.
passionate about. Like, so I do chapel time here, which we can talk about in a little bit.
Yes.
I do it for 5 to 10 minutes once a month.
Right.
And then I'm probably done for a while. But I try to engage with the kids and stuff. But I like the day in and day out, like, oh, this is my passion doing that. Like, has that just kind of been something that's always been a part of you?
Pretty much. When you first, kids are just honest to a fault. They tell you it like it is. But watching them take on a task where they don't know, and they're a little fearful about it, just like trying to coach them through that and then watching them succeed is so rewarding. And so I don't know that I've patted myself on the back necessarily, but like it just fills me with so much joy that I just keep coming back and like, okay, how could I help?
Yeah. And you're just kind of drawn to that. So where have been some places where you've seen over the years where you've seen God show up as you're working with kids, or the kind of impact that they've had on you, or the way you've seen God have impact on them? Because I know that you do this as like a preschool teacher, but this is also a ministry for you.
Yeah.
And so where do you kind of see God in the midst of all of that?
Well, God always places families and people like in the right spot at the right moment. And so I have watched God show up time and time again, even just in the classroom where maybe a kid is hurt and another child comes to their aid, or just the empathy that you see. Even coming over here to chapel and the kids being overly excited to like dance and sing and just, I think this year one of the kiddos was like, "Mrs. Smith, that was a Jesus moment. Did you see that?"
Oh man.
And so you're just like, "Well, did I see that? I hope I saw that." So it's just, I don't know. He just keeps showing up.
I feel like sometimes you'll get a kid that will in those moments during chapel or whatever, every now and then they say something that's like so crazy profound,
Yeah.
and it's like they don't even recognize that it is, and you're just
Yeah.
like, oh yeah. Yeah, that's right, buddy. Yeah,
Yeah, you're like, don't cry.
That's why Corinne cries all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know, Corinne, if you're listening, I'm sorry to throw you under the bus like that, but you know it about yourself. So, so it was a little over a year ago that that we first got to know each other a little bit, and you were looking for a home for a preschool.
Yes.
And it's something that we had been praying about, because a part of our passion here was just like, how do we help families, how do we reach families and children, and where are some of the needs, and without getting into the weeds too much, we knew that there was a huge need in the community, that there had been reports put out about like, for every, and you probably know this number better than I do, for every one child in preschool, there's like 10 on a waiting list or something of that nature. So we wanted to be able to be a part of the solution to that problem. We just had no idea how to do it. We had really been praying about it for a year. And I think Corinne was one of the ones who really kind of first said, we need to do this. And we decided, all right, well, within a year, we are going to do this thing. And it was almost a year to the date that we put that down as one of our SMART goals, that we wanted to do that she brought you to meet with me in my office, and we just kind of talked about the possibility of doing it. So, and now we're a little over a year out from that. Where have you seen God show up in this past year as we've launched Little Lions here?
Gosh, well, my personal faith has grown even stronger, because blindly walking into what I don't know how to do, opening a business is no easy task. But watching God just show up in people coming into our paths, watching my staff's strength grow, and their own faith grow, it's been crazy. It's a wild ride. I told Dan the podcast would need to be longer because there's so many times where God just meets us right where we're at. Like, you need that? Okay, we got you. Or a family comes in and is like, hey, can I donate this? And it's like, yes, great, thanks. I would appreciate that. And just watching him work through our families that we get to serve it's been really cool.
Yeah, I've loved. Most of the churches I've been at have had preschools in them. And I've loved all of them. This has been one of my favorite experiences, just because we've kind of been building it together, in partnership in some ways, and getting to kind of make it what we want to make it. And I've loved, again, kind of going back to chapel time, just getting to interact with the kids, getting to have a possibility to sing a song and do a little puppet show or whatever it is that we do together. Not to indoctrinate them or pour the Bible down their or anything like that, but just so that I feel like they might not remember anything that we talk about over here, but they're going to remember how they feel.
Yeah.
And and they do remember some stuff. I know that
they for sure do. They for sure do.
But yeah, I think there's just something about being able to. My hope is, for a lot of these kids who knows where they're going to end up in life, that they remember, a place that I felt safe and happy and loved was at this church, at this preschool, at this in this place, with these people. And so I think that's just a super important thing to do. So, and I mean, definitely, I think the faith aspect of it, there's been sometimes like, we're going to do this. How? I don't know. Like, we're just going to step out and see what happens. So are there some specific, like, do you remember, like, I know there's been so many, but can you think of like a specific one where you're like, I'm not sure, but we're just going to say, yep, we're doing this. And then we're going to hope that we're just going to believe, we're just going to trust.
Oh man. Well, so just opening in general was probably a huge leap. I mean, we opened a preschool in 5 months, which is literally
so
unheard of. People that said like, oh, that's going to be a tough task for you to do. That person's not very kind. They're not going to sign off on that. I feel like those people showed up and I just tried to be as genuine as possible. And here's what we're doing. Here's what we're up against. They're like, that's great. And they signed it. So like not carrying the expectations that somebody else maybe put on us and just truly trusting that God's got us, whatever this looks like. We're just looking to build the kingdom. That's whatever that looks like. I'm on board.
It's just been so cool. And I mean, I've got a nephew that's been able to go through and who's got to be your favorite student that's come through. He's ridiculous, but
he's a hoot.
It's so much fun. Yeah, I've loved seeing just like how it engages him, how it engages his family, and then it's a great opportunity for us, as a church to get to interact with some of these families also. So to kind of take it to like a broader thing, it seems like there's a lot of places in Scripture where Jesus says something about let the little children come to me. Like there's times where the disciples are like, hey, get the kids are being too loud, get them out of here, or somehow pushing them to the fringes, pushing them to the edges. And Jesus is inviting them in. He's calling them in. He's telling people, and be like them, have faith like a child, unless someone comes to me with the faith of one of these little ones, they'll never enter the kingdom of heaven. Like on and on, lifts up children as the example for us. Why do you think, in your time working with kids and getting to see kind of how kids are, why do you think Jesus does that? Why do you think Jesus calls us to make sure the kids are a part of the kingdom, a part of the family? Why do you think he's always calling us to bring kids to the center?
Well, kids have less life experience than us, and they come so unapologetically themselves and just they are inquisitive. They there's just an openness and a rawness, sometimes brutalness, to their comments, and to they just haven't had hard stuff of life weigh them down, and so they're unapologetically themselves.
Yeah, there's not as much cynicism. There's not the woundedness necessarily from life, and they're able to come in just with like that childlike faith, right? I think about one of the examples that I think about when Jesus tells us to have faith like a child. I think of like the image of the kid jumping into a pool to a parent who's ready to catch them. Yeah. And they just jump because of course they're going to catch me, right? And maybe it's because they haven't had the experience yet of feeling like they're drowning in debt, drowning in, expectations, drowning in guilt, drowning in whatever else it might be. They've not had that experience. So it's like, well, yeah, of course they're going to catch me. Of course the Father's going to catch me. And, there's a little bit, you had to have some childlike faith too, yes, for sure. to say, for sure, we're going to do this thing and he's going to catch us.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. And he did.
And he did.
And he still is.
And he still is. Yeah. every day. Yeah. So I think there's definitely something to that idea of what it looks like for us to have that childlike faith, for us to look at them as examples and not something that, hey, let's put them to the side until they get old enough to be useful. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Which is what we sometimes do. You've had, I think there's also, so there's being a preschool, director and watching all these kids. And then there's also, you and I are both parents. Yeah. And so there's a difference in doing this with somebody else's kids.
Correct. They go home at the end of the day.
They go home at the end of the day and you don't have to deal with as much. And, they are continually for you 3, 4, 5 years old.
Correct.
And, but your own kids at home grow up a little more as your kids have grown up. How do you see that? How has that maybe changed a little bit for you? Has it changed for you how you work with preschoolers, knowing like, oh, these are the next steps coming after that for them?
Yeah. Well, I guess for me, it's not, at this point, it's not mostly about the children, it's about the parents.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't know what's coming for them, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
this, they're like, this is so hard. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
well,
Wait till
but
they're driving,
yeah,
right?
bigger kids, bigger
Yeah.
problems, they say. But yeah, I don't, it's caused me to pause a little more because I started out and I didn't have children, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so as my kids have grown and I have grown, I've realized there's sometimes you have to be a little gentler. I'm pretty black
Mm-hmm.
and white about things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've learned to maybe not be so calloused or
Mm-hmm.
uncaring
Mm-hmm.
in my approach to parents because
Yeah.
life is hard
Life is hard.
and we need community to get through it. So,
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I've loved watching you all do is the community that you've formed. Like, there's a
yeah.
great community of people. We just did I say we, I did nothing. You just did a garage sale,
Yeah.
where
Yes.
we're raising money to
Yeah.
do a little bit of construction work to try to
Yes.
expand some space and all of these things.
Yep.
And yeah, just watching the community kind of rally around it
Yeah.
has been really fun to watch. And I love the way that you guys are building that. I think that's really, really cool.
Thank you.
Just to kind of wrap it up for you as a follower of Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
I know that you've got a great faith, and I know that doing um, doing what you've done over the last year has, like you said, it's grown your faith.
Yeah.
How do you feel like as a Christian, you've evolved and you've changed over not just over this last year, but
Oh,
as
wow.
you've been working with the kids over all the years you've been doing with that? How is your life as a Christian different because you get to do what you do?
Oh, wow. That's a big question. How is my life different?
Or just how is your
Dang.
or let me
Out
ask
of
let me ask a different
nowhere.
question. How do you think your I have a hard time separating, and maybe you don't. Maybe this is a me problem. I have a hard time sometimes separating my faith from my job,
Oh,
because
that's
I'm a
just it
pastor.
though. I
Yeah,
don't because
yeah,
that's I
right,
live and breathe it. Like that's
yeah,
part of who I am. It's all encompassing.
hmm
Um, because you can't. That's
yeah,
like that's my walk. That's my walk. That's who I am.
right. And
So,
I love that it's a struggle for you because you're like, well, why are those two different things? They're not,
yeah.
right? It's not. That is the way you live out your faith,
Yeah.
is by doing what you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is I love that we all get to have a unique experience. Everyone's Christian walk is not exactly the same,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
I'm not living out my faith as a preschool director. Thanks be to God. And you're not doing it as a senior pastor of the church, right?
Oh, yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Absolutely not.
it's different for each of us, but you've found this place where it feels like all of your giftedness, all of your
Mm-hmm.
who he created you to be, you're getting to use it and live it
Yeah.
out to
Yep.
build the kingdom. So I think that's probably maybe a part of
Yeah.
why it's hard to answer that question.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is just what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, this is just how I live my faith. I love
That's
that.
fair.
I love that. So as we're coming up into this new year, new school year.
Yeah.
What are some of the things you're most looking forward to?
Well, Dan talked about the wall being taken down.
Yay.
So our 5-day class was separated into 2 classrooms last school year, and it will not be rolling into the fall.
Yay.
And so I'm really looking forward to that so we can take on some more kiddos
Mhm.
and help build more relationships. I am Gosh, my co-teacher's having a baby, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh man.
I'm not looking forward to finding somebody to fill her spot, but I'm looking
But
forward
babies
to
are always
babies. Yeah, they're a huge blessing.
and a future little lion.
That's right. That's right. He may be getting a onesie. Yeah, no, I'm excited for things to come.
Yep, very cool.
And keep watching God move.
Yep. Well, I'm so thankful that this partnership started last year.
Me too.
And just so excited to see what God continues to do through all of it.
Yes.
And as you who are listening are thinking about this, a couple things I'd encourage you to think about this week. Where has God uniquely put you for you to live out your faith? Maybe it's with kids, maybe it's not, maybe it's somewhere else. But
I'm
that's
looking for subs if it is.
You're looking for subs if it is. We're also looking for people in the children's ministry here on Sunday mornings.
There you go.
And that's the part of what we're talking about is like that. It takes this whole sermon series that we're doing right now is that we all, it's called All Together Now, and we need all of us.
Yep.
Children included. And so another thing to think about is how are you, or are you in your life living in such a way that you are calling little children to get to live lives where they are feeling loved and safe and secure and feeling like they get to experience the love of God, which is, I think, a part of all of our jobs. Jesus didn't say, let the little children just go to the nursery. It was, let the little children come to me. And so how are we all helping the little children come to Jesus? I think that's a part of what we're called to do. So thank you so much for doing this today. Last minute.
Yeah, thanks. No problem.
Appreciate you. And thanks for listening. And we'll see you next time on another Sermon Prep Podcast.